Hi everyone, so today I want to work with this little Hunkydory 7th Little Book of Christmas, bite-sized book, mini book, whatever they call these little books, to try to make something that's a little bit different than what I normally do, with some decoupage and all that kind of stuff. So if anything's available, I'll link in the description box. Those will be affiliate links, which means I'll make a small commission if you're purchased items to those links. So this really goes back to their celebration, like their big blockbuster Christmas, in July set that they brought out. I mean, some of these are very similar. Some I think are new images that weren't in that set, or images that weren't in the blockbuster, But I think today I want to use oh, that little guy's so cute. The Santa Claus, this one. And when you measure these are true A4 size, so I'm going to need 3 of them, I think. So I'm going to make one card using 3, and you can decoupage with all 6 or whatever, so whatever's that you like. But I'm using 3 sheets today, I think. So it is definitely 4 1/8 by 5 3/4 because it's half. Actually, it's a quarter of an A4 size sheet. And A4 is like 8 1/4 by almost 12, and that's why they kind of rounded to like 5 3/4, or at least I do. If I measure this, it's like 5 3/4. So I'm gonna build a card around this. And we'll see how that goes, because this is already that size, and I'm like, well, I could cut it down to be more of standard size, but then we're going to get rid of a lot of the scene, and I don't want to do that either. I also want to put a little background of gold. I think that'll help me do what I'm thinking I want to do. I think I want to put a little bit of that snowfall acetate on this. So I'll pull that out. I haven't brought that out yet. So we need what's going to be our base layer. And again, this is... Oh, I pulled out too many. I'll put one of those back. We're going to need a base layer, and then the decoupage layer. Since I have fingerprints all over this one, this will be the decoupage layers that I'll cut into. And this will be my base layer. I just pulled out a bunch of my gold Mary card. The reason I wanted to show you this one, because I thought, oh, well, they ran out of the festive one, and then it comes back and it goes out because it's awesome. It has different textures, really pretty. You can do that yourself. Just take, your regular Mary and run it through an embossing folder, whatever it is that you like. But I think we're just barely going to mat this. Let me see if this piece is going to work. Oh, look at that. So I can trim this one down to just mat it, just to have something around the edges. And then whatever size that is, I'm going to create a card base to work for that. I think that's what I'm going to do. Make it a little bit easy, I suppose. So, again it's already A4 size, and I don't want to take anything off of it. So we're going to make a card base that's a little bit bigger than that. So we'll get to that when we get to it. For right now... let me go ahead and trim down this gold paper, just so that maybe I'll just start with this already stuck down. So I'm going to trim this paper down to just a little bit over. So if it's 4 1/8, I mean, maybe 4 1/4 by a 1/4 inch, not a 1/4 inch more, but just like by an 1/8 inch more this other direction. So let me cut it down and I'll tell you what that is. So it is 4 1/4 by 6, and that gives us that sweet little mat. And I'm just going to tape that down, and I'm actually going to use my ATG, because this paper, it's like layering weight paper. It's you can see it has some thickness to it, but it's, I don't want to mess it up, by sticking it down with glue, and it might warp it. So I'm going to take that. And again, if you want to run that through an embossing folder, give it a little bit of texture. It's not really going to show up, so I'm just going to stick this down. And then we're going to build up our little layers. So cute. So I haven't really decided what I want to do about this, because we have both, this bottom portion that can also be layered up, and then the top guy. So I think what I'm going to do is, because I don't do a lot of decoupage, and you can use not a scissor, well, like I'm using a scissors, but if you want to use a craft knife, you can definitely do that. I'm just going to go around, and I'm going to cut this guy out. I think this whole thing as one piece, right? Like this whole background piece. Maybe not the star, to be honest. I'll just go like that. So you can include as little or as much as you want. And again, with this kind of thing, I'm applying pressure with my dominant hand, and my non-dominant hand is turning my paper. And if you really wanted to, you can just like come in here and cut this all away, just to get rid of any excess that might get in your way as you're cutting. And this one's pretty straight line here, so I'm just going to go down right there. I think that's pretty good. I was going to say to get that last snip, but it's right there. Okay, and then just in here, let me cut that away. And if I want to just cut this way, it's easier. And then continue on with his little hand, his little glove, mitten. And you can get in there as much as you like or not, and what I can do with that later is maybe just clean out that little area with a craft knife. So again, I'll just do that. Just keep following along. Okay, this whole little line. So I'll get that, I'll get that, I'll get this little guy in there, and all that. Okay, and actually if you want to cut this off, because that's more like in the background, you can definitely do that. Do you know what I'm saying? Since those trees are in the back, you can just kind of cut them away, and that'll give another dimension already. Or if you want to repeat that and then cut it away the next time. I think at the base I'm only going to do 2 layers, and then this guy I'll do Santa Claus 3 layers. So with this, I'm going to cut him out now. I don't know. I'm trying to see. Yeah, maybe that's what I'll do. I probably won't cut this little green thing, so I'm going to cut around each character. So like I'll take him, and to cut that away, it'll just be his little body, right? So I'll do that. And then I'll just make my choices as far as what to cut, where, and all that. And I'll show you when I come back. So just, again, keep following along. And so I'll be back. Base like we talked about. I just cut these little pieces, and you know, back here there's like that little gift. I was like, that'd be cute to keep that in the in place. So I did cut the little gift out too. And generally, you don't just go and stick things down. Well, I guess you cut everything out and then stick it down. But I'm gonna stick it down as we go because I don't want to misplace anything. And again, I cut away like those background trees. I have him. I just want to show you a couple little things I'm going to edit here. And with this guy, I probably will cut him out a second time. Why not, right? Like his little nose. Actually, I'm thinking just doing his nose. But if you on this second one, if you want to cut away his ears and everything, that's fine too. You know, it gives it more dimension. I'm keeping the ears there, but whatever you want. What was I gonna do? Oh yeah, here we go. So I'm gonna take a little cutting mat, even though what I work on is a self-healing mat, but that's okay. Sorry, my son came down, but that's okay. All right, here we go, and you hear that? Right back in his room. Okay, so like this little piece, I'm not going to cut out this very center one, but like let's say this, I'm just going to come in with my craft knife and just follow that. But you don't even have to do that. I know it just depends on how detailed you want your stuff to be, right? I mean, I might not even get this quite right, but I'm going to come in here, and I'm taking it slowly, slowly, a little bit at a time, and it might be that they don't even meet up. So we'll see what happens when our cuts, or with our cuts at the end here. Let's see how much I did there, or how well. Not too bad. Not great, but I'm going to pull that just so it's already done. Okay. I just need to come back around here. And same thing with like, see, it was just that little tiny bit that was holding on still. Okay, I'm going to leave that center. I can cut it out, but... And then with this little guy, like right in between his little arm, no one can really see that to be honest, but if you want to just kind of come in and clean that up, you can definitely do that. It is so small. So I'm just going to tug that away if there's even anything left there. Like the smallest amount. Okay, so I got to get closer to this, you know, so I can see it better. There we go. It was like nothing. So I mean, you could have just left that. Okay, I'm going to put dimensionals on the back of these things. I'm going to use my Anna Griffin set. So larger dimensionals where there is bigger. Actually, I could put a whole strip just across this bottom part, right? Like a different foam. Just so you know, different foams from different companies are a lot of times different thicknesses, so you can't just mix and match them unless you want different heights here and there. It just depends what you're going for. But don't just assume because it's foam that they're going to be the same, because a lot of times they're not. So, alright. Let me just line this out. I'll put some on him and on my little, oh, that little gift. I have some smaller foams that I can do that with. Oopsie. And even smaller ones. If I really want to stick down like this tip here. Okay, so I'll just line this stuff out with foam. I'll take the carriers off and all that so they're ready. And I'll be right back. You know, as I'm sitting here, I remember one of the ladies from Hunkydory saying that the little books are just smaller than A6. So that's another size of paper you can think about. And, you know, I don't know. Either way, when you first measure it, and I'm hoping I'm not misspeaking, that's pretty much A4 size. Okay, so I'm just going to put this down. You guys, it is really cute. I mean, I don't know if you can pick it up on camera how cute that is when you have that other layer. It just looks adorable. I put this one down already because I didn't want to misplace my little gift. And then we're going to put Santa here. Again, just pretty much line it up I didn't put anything under his little hat part. We're gonna use some snowfall acetate and we're gonna cover this like in a way that's protecting it, so I'm not super concerned anything's gonna happen to that. And then what about these little legs? Oh my gosh, you guys, I'm telling you, every little bit. It is cute. It does take time. It wouldn't take forever because these shapes are pretty simple, but you know, these little ins and outs. Now this last part, I'm like, what do I want to do for the third layer? So I have this whole little scene that I can keep for another one, right? Because if I'm not going to use him again, then we're good. Generally, I say you go less layers here and more layers in the foreground, but I think they're the focal point, so I would do another layer, you know, if you wanted to at the bottom and not the top so much. But this it might seem like a waste, and maybe you could have taken it from the first layer, but if you can see through to the first layer, you don't want to remove anything. Where are my scissors? Okay. I think for this guy, I can do his little body like this, but then it'll have to be like something. It's just weird. I'm just going to do his nose, you guys. Just to add a little something. And I think that's cute. Again, just let my scissors do the work. I'll trim that away. Actually, I could have just left it really nice. If you're trying to conserve layers, you know, what I would do is try to do the least damage to the paper that you're removing from. That way you might be able to still reuse it. But again, if you can see underneath, you're going to see that something's missing and it doesn't look as nice. So for this one, I'm using 3 papers and that's it. So that's going to be his little nose, and actually I can stick it down right now, just not misplace it. And let's put a... I thought, oh, maybe 2 squares will work. Look at how tiny that is. 1 square. One of the smallest square is the best for that. Oh my goodness. That is adorable. So we have that. I mean, you can do his... Oh, how about that? So we don't just waste his whole little thing. Like I said, I mean, it's whatever you want, obviously. What if we put his little saddle? So I'll take a moment to cut out his little saddle, and I'll do that. And then for Santa, I'm kind of thinking just this area in here. So I know that seems weird, but like, let's go in here, cut this away, take his little whole beard. And if you want to do some of these little gift layers, that's cute too, because since you have them, you can just pop them in. But I think I'd rather keep that whole layer intact for another project. So go up there, and then down in here. I can get a little bit closer in just a minute as far as trimming away some of that red that came up in here. And I'm going to take his little holly too, so I'm just going to cut this really rough here. So I'm going to take a moment to go around his little mustache and just around here and leave the holly as well as I can. So I might have to, sometimes when it's a little area, I'm sorry if it's been out of focus, I'll just kind of take my scissor, the tip of my scissor, and just go doot, like here. I might go in there like that, just at the very tip of my scissor. Just get rid of those little areas, just pinch it away. So I'll clean all this up and then just go around here. And then we'll do his little puff separately, because why not? Just like the Rudolph's nose, we can also use this little puff again. So I'll cut the little puff out. And, oh, you know what? I was going to keep his little arm, I think, but that's all. I was going to keep this little piece of hand, but that's alright. Oh, we can do the little gift. I mean, there's just lots of different little things you can pick out that you can cut and layer up, but I'll be right back. As I'm cutting, I cut the little puff out and I didn't want to misplace it, but I remember I didn't put one underneath. I didn't put a dimensional under the first little puff, so I'm going to slip this under here, because if I push it down, it's just going to fall down. And now I can take this little guy and pop it on there. I think it went this way. Better. There we go. Something like that. And move it down a little bit. Not quite in the spot I want, like right here. Sorry, I hear Miranda walking around, so I'm like, go time. Okay. Okay, last little bit is that little saddle or whatever. It's so cute. And so I'm just going to put some dimensionals on that. And I think maybe just this medium-sized dimensional will be good. Okay, and then I already have Santa ready to go, his little face. So we'll pop this on, just his little bag, his little saddle, whatever that is. And then we'll put this here. And, oop. Should I fix that? Yeah, it's a little bit crooked. Okay, hold on. These are really sticky from Anna, so it's kind of a bummer. because I couldn't see what I was doing, and I'm gonna mess up his little face. Oh no. Okay. Well, I'm not gonna mess it up. I just I didn't want to kink it in anyway. Alright, so maybe we should start back there. Start at that pointy part and then come this way. Alright, so we have his little face. Just a few layers, some different things layered up, really cute and fun. And, okay, so let me grab that snowfall acetate, and then we need to make a card base, and I'll be right back. Guys, I didn't have a chance to get back to this yesterday, but this is just sitting here on my desk. I just was like, this is so cute every time I see it. Oh my gosh, just adorable. So, I grabbed a card base, and then I was looking at this, and you know we gave ourselves our little measurements, and I think I'm just going to mat it right onto the card base. So this is 4 1/4, as you can see this way, by 6, which is really nice numbers. Again, a little bit bigger than an A4 card base, but I'm going to make my own card base. So if we're at 4 1/4, very lucky, that means 8 1/2. We're already 8 1/2 if we're doubling that by 6. So I'm going to cut this paper to 8 1/2 by 6. And, oh no! I just realized something. Yesterday during a haul video I was showing stuff that I got from Tonic, and this was one of the items. Some things had fallen out of the bag. The bag was open at the bottom. So I also got a blue Blitz shimmer powder, okay, in the mystery bag. Actually, I don't have that one, and that stuff is so pretty, you guys. I should do more with it. I just wet your paper and spray that, or squirt it on there. It's like a powder, or put the powder first and then wet it, or wet it, put the powder, wet it again. There's just a lot of ways to work with it. Anyway, so my card base, again, by 6 inches. And then I'll just score it at 4 1/4. Okay, so it's going to be it's going to cover the whole card. But I also wanted to put a little of my snowfall acetate, super cute, from Hunkydory also. And I wanted to go the whole length of this card just to cover the front, if you can imagine something like this. Now we can leave it flat, but I don't want to do that. I'm going to give it a little bit of a curve, so I'm only going to add a little bit more in the length so that it curves around a little tiny bit. Not a huge dome, right? It's not really a dome card, but I guess it is. But it'll also protect it. You can also square it off if you want it to look just like a box, or you can put a whole box around it, whatever you want. So again, I'm gonna leave it so it's open, so it's 4 1/4. And since I want a little bit of doming, I'm going to give myself an extra 1/4 inch on the 6 inch side, but we also need to tuck it behind so it holds on. So I'm going to give myself a 1/2 inch on either side, just a good amount to hold on. So 7 1/4. And then if I need to adjust that, I will. But I really like their snowfall because honestly, you think, oh, it's going to obscure what you're seeing, but they do such a good job because it's so scattered that you can see it, but it's also, you can see the snow, but it also doesn't obscure what you're doing. One more thing I was going to do. I grabbed my sentiments just to have something if I need a sentiment from here. But I'm going to go through the Cuties paper pack because I think this is the Christmas design. It's right here. So I'm going to look for that topper page because it might have something that I'm like a little border or something else that I can add on the outside. So let me go through this. Sorry guys. And see if I can find the topper, which of course I can. I just need to bring it out. Oops, sorry. Okay, I'll be back. Okay. Oh, that is so cute. It's really stylized, the border on this one. Oh, but you know what? Huh. Just looking at this, maybe I can take a piece of the border this way. But that'd be kind of odd because there's a little tree there, but maybe just a piece of the paper and not even use the actual border. Okay, well, let's think about that, but I'll be right back. So funny. I scored my card base and I thought, oh, I need to score the acetate, so let's do that. So, again, 6 by 8 1/2, and I scored at 4 1/4, okay? And this guy, we're just going to score in 1/2 inch on either side. So I'm just going to do the 1/2 inch and then turn it and do 1/2 inch again. If I'm not squeezing my card over here. Let me move this out. Okay. So 1/2 inch. And 1/2 inch. This stuff is super thick. This is like the thickest acetate I think I've ever worked with. And so on one side you can feel the snowflake, and on the other side you can see the back of it. So, you know, whatever you want on the outside, do you want it this way, or do you want it with the little flake? I kind of like seeing it out here, so I'm going to turn mine that way. It's like the smallest bit of texture, but you can see it. Let me just make sure I'm getting that around there. I guess I should have paid attention to that first so I can score it that way, but that's okay. Okay, So you see we have a little bit of curve, and then if I have to adjust that, I will. But if we bring this back, we're going to put this on here to here. Oh yeah, that's exactly what I want. Just like a little bit. Actually, I can even do a little bit less than that. Let's see. Maybe I'll take another 1/8 off. How about that? So, like 3/8. It's just the smallest amount, guys. Let's see. It's so close to the other line. I want to make sure that I'm scoring it well. Okay. Took a little bit more off. Just the smallest amount. See? Just make it a little bit more stylized. And look at that. You can still see him. Okay, and then for this, what I was thinking is just putting like a little border and then, you know, my sentiment. Which actually you can use a sentiment from here. You can even put like wishing you the happiest Christmas, like right here or something. I made it very tight. This actually can fit on a 5x7 really nicely if you want it to mat it out and then have this on top, you know, like in the center or wherever you want to put it. Does it even need a border, to be honest? What if I just went with a little sentiment? Huh. Anyway, I was thinking about just cutting a strip of paper and running it down there, but I don't know that it needs it. Let's try it. Again, I'm trying to see what I want to do. I'm going to cut this strip down. I think I have another piece of paper that's actually good for this too, but because it's like the smallest amount. Actually, I'm going to do it this way. Oh, my little topper's coming out. And let's say I'm putting it right on the edge and getting rid of that white part that's right on top. So basically cutting off the name on this top part. And then I'm going to make this as white as I can without touching the gold stuff that's coming up next. Hopefully that makes sense. Okay. That's just a small little strip of the same stuff, and then I still have my whole topper sheet. And then what I'm going to do is grab my gold paper. I'll be right back. So I just grab one of my gold pieces. That's the DL size, which is with that. It's exactly the width of those papers there. And all I'm going to do is hopefully, grab my ATG. Oh, I should not put that on there. I can see that. There it goes. And I'm going to put it right close to one of the edges. So now this looks like it has that gold. No, no, no. Okay, I'm going to carefully do this. Oh my goodness. I would have used the wet glue, but I wanted to set up really quick, so I'm just putting this on here. Okay, guys, I'm going to take this to my guillotine and cut it just so I have about the same amount on this other side, so it'll probably be like ½ an inch. I'll be right back, guys. So, we have this. I haven't stuck it down. We have this. I'm just gonna score this by my hand, you know, just to make sure it fits right. I'm not gonna do that ahead of time. And so let's move some of these things out of the way. Oh, I should put that little blade back, but I will. Famous last words. I'll put it back in just a minute. Then I'll misplace it for sure. Okay, so I'm gonna put the ATG on this because I don't want to squish my little thing here. And I did want to mention, you know, like I said, I wasn't able to get back to this yesterday, so this is the next day. The reason I went ahead and just did the whole piece of gold paper is because I didn't know if I was going to do like an easel card or whatever, but I also wanted the sturdiness of the card for this part, because if I had gutted the gold piece, it'd be a little wonkier. So anyway, that's all. That's why I did that. Okay, so let's put this here. Nope. Let's get this in my hand first, I guess. I want to really tuck it into that corner, you know, so that was a little bit too close, so let's stay there. I don't really want to push it down too much there, but it'll hold on. And then we already put glue on this side, so that's good. Now I'll just bring it over and close up the deal. Really close to the edge again. Put it right on there. Just making sure we're in there good. Okay. Again, I don't want to push this down too much, but enough so it's touching. And then we have our little, I mean, it's domed on both sides, but when we have this flat little dome in the front. And just a little something, you know? And then if I put this little guy here, it'll probably be lower so we can see the snowman. That's kind of why I was debating even putting it, because it's obstructing some of the stuff there. But let me go through this and see. I mean, we have greens, which would be really cute. We have 'Tis the Season. Aw, maybe that one. Let's see. We have just Merry Christmas, just for you. I think that's cute. Okay, so let's put that across here, and let's say it's down about there. Again, I'm gonna do one side, and I'm just doing it this way because, again, I didn't want to measure and then not have it stay right where I want it. So let's say if that's like that, this is like this. That looks good. I'm gonna give it a pinch, and I'm just gonna use the ATG. Why not? I should have started on this side. Okay. Yeah, that's fine. Nope. How low did I want this? Oh, there's a little bird there. Okay, so we can still see him a little bit. And just bring this around. You can still see that little bird down there. Super cute, especially since it's a dome card, you can look into it. And I'm just going to stick all of this down really, really well around the very edges. And I'll probably use some wet glue too, because I don't want this coming apart later. Only because it has that tension of the dome. If this was just a regular card, I really wouldn't care, but let's see here. Sorry, sound a little scratchy. And we're almost done, guys. We're just going to pop this on the front. And let's see here. That looks really good. Oh my gosh, how cute. I'm going to reach my finger in there. Since I did the dome very flat, I'm not scratching, I'm just pushing. I'm applying pressure here. I don't want to scratch my little paper. I'm just getting in there where I can, just to make sure this is making contact with that paper in the back. Oh, move this little stuff there. I'm getting in between the two layers. Yeah, that's a little trickier, right? To get it on there really nice. Oh my gosh, you guys. How cute. And then this little guy, I guess I'll put some dimensionals. And not too much. Do we do it that way? Sure. Let me give it a little bit of a curve though. I don't think it really needs it, but it might. So let's just let it do its thing. Oh my gosh. I mean, you can put this anywhere. I just feel like it needs to go right down in here with the band. How sweet. Okay, and that is my card. Again, you can make an envelope box type of envelope if that's what you want, an envelope box, whatever you want to call it. Generally with domed cards or those kind of things, I don't really send them in the mail, but you can definitely, this one's flat enough that you can probably just use an envelope box and you're good to go if you want to put it inside a box. But look how cute, the little scene, and it has like all that dimension, the little snowfall in the front. Oh my gosh, you guys. Alright, well, I will have some images coming up. I'll have links as appropriate, and I will see you guys at the next one. Bye now.